Released alongside the Mate 20 and the Mate 20 Pro, the Mate 20X is more than 3 years old. With a 7.2-inch display, the Huawei Mate 20X is one of the largest smartphones ever, and it dwarfs almost every large phone of 2021. I've been using this phone for a long time, and in this video I'm going to tell you if it is still worth in the upcoming year. This is the Huawei Mate 20X in 2022. When it comes to the build quality, the Mate 20X looks and feels premium and modern. That's because it is made of glass and aluminum. The glass on the back has these patterns, therefore it is very grippy. The Mate 20X is just huge. It is a lot bigger than the 13 Pro Max or the S21 Ultra, so if you have small hands you definitely shouldn't buy this device. Since I have been using this phone for a long time, it has a lot of scratches. I did also drop it many times, and luckily it didn't break. The Mate 20X is only IP53 splash resistant, so you shouldn't take it swimming. Like I said earlier, the Mate 20X has a 7.2-inch OLED display. It is only a 60Hz 1080p device, and with this giant screen size, most of the times I find the need for more pixels or for higher refresh rate. That aside, the quality of the display is still good. It gets bright enough even though the colors aren't as vibrant. It is a good display for watching videos, since it is only interrupted with a small notch, but in a display this large it is barely noticeable. Since the Mate 20X was launched before the US ban, it does support Google Apps, at least for now. My unit has Android 10, which is very outdated. I hope that Harmony OS update will come soon for this phone, even though it might lose Google Apps. The software overall isn't that friendly. EMUI is a lot different from stock Android, and even from any other Android skin out there. When it comes to the performance, the Mate 20X is still acceptable. It isn't as fast as 2021 flagships, but it can still do everything you need. It can still do everyday tasks, and even heavy games aren't a problem either, even though they take longer to load. RAM management is also good even though it has only 6GB. The base storage is 128GB, which is enough for most of the people. If you want to extend the storage, however, you have to buy Huawei's nano memory, since regular SD cards won't fit in. Since the Mate 20X was released more as a gaming device, you might think that the cameras aren't that good. In contrast, the cameras on this phone are still good and reliable. It has the same triple camera setup as the Mate 20 Pro, and in daylight all of them produce great pictures. The main camera especially is still comparable with later flagships. All of its cameras support night mode, but sadly only the main camera produces great pictures. The ultra-wide camera falls behind in low light, and the telephoto camera won't be activated every time you need. The selfie camera on the other hand isn't that good. Since it has a fixed focus, it is hard to take decent pictures. On low light the front camera is almost unusable, since it doesn't support night mode. Video quality does also lack a lot behind. Videos lack stabilization and the colors aren't as accurate, but since this phone is more targeted for gamers, I would say that the cameras are still more than enough. The Mate 20X comes with stereo speakers. The speakers of this device are very loud since it has dedicated speaker grills in both sides, so it doesn't use the earpiece. On its loudest volume, however, the sound quality isn't that clear. It does also have a headphone jack, which is a nice feature to have. When it comes to the battery life, the Mate 20X is still great. With its 5000 mAh battery, at launch this phone was a 2-day device. Now, however, the battery life has degraded, and even though it still lasts me through a day, it isn't as good as before. Since many phones nowadays have a 5000 mAh battery, this device isn't as unique as before where other phones had batteries under 4000. Charging isn't as fast since it only supports 22 watts. It doesn't support wireless charging, but I never found a need to charge it wirelessly. The Mate 20X has a fingerprint scanner on the back. The fingerprint scanner of this device is very fast and reliable. Every time I unlock this phone using the fingerprint scanner, I am always reminded how fast our physical scanners were compared to the in-display ones. It does also support face unlock, which is extremely fast too. If you don't want to use them, you have always an option for a PIN or a password. So is the Mate 20X still worth it? If you are a gamer and you have a tight budget, I would say yes it is, but for anyone else I would say no. This is a phone with a great build quality, reliable cameras and great battery life. The display on the other hand isn't as good for gamers, since it lacks high refresh rate and it is only Full HD. If you want a gaming phone and you have a high budget, I would say go for other phones that were released later. Non-gamers on the other hand definitely shouldn't buy this device, since it is way too big to use. I do however love this phone and I will keep it as long as it holds. The sad part is that it still doesn't have a successor. If you are an owner of the Mate 20X, feel free to share your experience in the comment section below. If you did enjoy this video, then please consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you for watching.